It's great to see you. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So a busy weekend if we go back to Friday and everything else. So this is kind of flying under the radar. And understandably, a lot of investors say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. I'm not selling this stuff just for them to be called off or walked down again. You think that the market's overlooking some of the risks here?
Well, look, I thought it was really interesting last time around how much the markets didn't react, even to the piece that actually happened, which was the 10% incremental on China. We're now facing down another 10% incremental on China that pretty much everyone agrees is going to go forward, along with the possibility that we get, maybe the entire 25%, maybe some lower rate, as Secretary Lutnick alluded to on Canada and Mexico. But yeah, I think investors in general are in I'm going to need to see it to believe it mode, given how much uncertainty there's been. I mean, how could you possibly make a confident prediction about what's going to happen?
Right. And so I want to just kind of take this piece by piece. So actually, let's start with the China tariffs, which have gone into effect. The 10% tariff went into effect that last month, brings the kind of blended rate up to almost 20. Another 10% tomorrow would bring us up to about 30%. And you thought that was kind of I don't want to say the worst case, but that if we go there, that markets aren't priced for it and we could be there tomorrow.
Yeah, our pre-election base case was that we'd get about halfway to what Trump had said he would do on China. He was talking about 60% on the campaign trail. We had been penciling in 30%, and we may already be there as of tomorrow. And importantly, these are much more sweeping tariffs than we saw last time around. In 2018 and 2019, we had differentiated rate structure where certain things were hit harder. We had certain products carved out entirely. iPhones we get asked about a lot were not subject to tariffs. They are now, along with everything. It's 10% across the board. So we've seen more, kind of tolerance for something that consumers might notice on that dimension.
Right. That's the China piece of it. And I guess one final thought on that. The Chinese stocks have obviously been doing very well lately. I did see some headlines, for instance, I think Honda or one of the Japanese automakers is going to open a plant in Indiana. But do you think then the market needs to take more seriously the idea that another 10% goes into effect tomorrow? And you think that will have bigger impacts than anything we've seen so far?
I mean, it's I think the impact will build up over time. I don't think that we're going to see another 10% on China tomorrow that suddenly causes everyone to sort of snap to their senses and have some big sell-off. I think that we're seeing the uncertainty and the cost from these tariffs build up and weigh on markets over time. We're seeing it in consumer confidence, and we're seeing it in the index movements.
All right, so let's moving on finally to the Canada and Mexico piece of this, which was the much bigger part of the market's reaction, at least I thought last time around, and then they were delayed until tomorrow potentially. And again, Lutnick hinted that maybe maybe they start at a lower level and kind of work their way up. Maybe who knows what could happen between now and then. But you said you were struck that we haven't really seen a lot of scrambling to, like we did last time when we had, posts on X from the leader of Mexico and so forth trying to delay them. And this time around, so far, none of that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, talks are underway. But last time around, we had the Journal, with sources on background saying, folks within the Trump administration are scrambling to try and avert this. The kind of, the intraday reporting from the Journal today has President Sheinbaum of Mexico saying, we're going to see what happens and everything is possible. Folks in both Canada and Mexico complaining they don't know what President Trump wants and what he's looking for. And so, that plays into how investors should read these messages from senior members of the administration. I'm not sure that Secretary Lutnick knows what exactly Trump wants or what he's going to do either. And so, I think there's some trial balloons. I think there's some advocacy for certain outcomes that we're seeing from senior members of the administration rather than, them knowing what's going to happen and being able to tell us.